What's up, everybody? Welcome to Practical Reviews. Hey, look, I'm sitting outside of a car dealership, and I wanted to post a quick, real-time video of my experience and where I think the automobile industry is heading. Look, this is a replica picture of my wife's 2021 Nissan Rogue in all its glory, right? My wife doesn't want a huge car. She wants something somewhat reliable, up to date. So we got our Nissan Rogue. Great vehicle. I've been bringing this car in to get service for years, and I have paid anything from $35 up to a few $100s when tires were involved and things like that. So she's had the car for about 5 years now. Literally only 36,000 miles on it. She really doesn't drive it a ton. We mostly take my vehicle most of the time when we're going places, but we use hers if we're going out of town or just want to get it on the road or whatever. And so yeah, it's pretty well taken care of, pretty well maintained. So I brought it in today to get its routine oil change, filter check, top off of fluids and all that good stuff. And look, not expecting a crazy cost. Wanted to rotate the tires, and obviously when you walk into a dealership, they give you crazy costs to do the most with the vehicle. So here's the cost for an oil change and a tire rotation at the dealership. Now, one thing that you'll notice is the $95 for labor, $34 for parts. I asked the guy at the front desk, I'm like, hey, look, do you guys have tariffs on the labor and inflation on the labor as well? What's going on here? The last time I was here, the labor cost was $35 for everything. So it was about a $60, $65, $69 charge. And the response that I got was, well, everything's going up these days. So I drove around to the back of the shop because I want to see, some guys in there working like minions or whatever. Like I want to see some PhDs back there for $95 per. So the other thing that I noticed on my receipt was what they wanted me to do to my car. And they had charges up to $1,500. Like flush this, flush that, check this cable, check that cable. And I came to the conclusion that the cost for maintaining a gasoline vehicle is going to outweigh the cost of what EVs will eventually become. If you own an electric car, you know that for the most part, the only maintenance that you have on that vehicle, routine maintenance, is tire rotations, changing out air filters, and an occasional software update. But that's it, right? Gasoline cars are going to extinct themselves. And this is why I think auto manufacturers, oil and gas industry workers and owners, this is why I think they're overplaying their hand. I think, the days of big assembly line, this is all we have out there, this is all we have available to buy, are gone. As China continues to push their way into the EV world and be able to expand their market share, you have the Teslas, the Hyundais, and certain manufacturers that are fully dug in. I think the cost for servicing EVs are a fraction of the cost, and once they get the cost down, or the cost to purchase at a reasonable rate across the board, EVs are going to crush the gasoline, oil-powered vehicles because folks aren't going to be able to afford the servicing on these things as these companies continue to try to make a profit. Look, this is just a rant from a guy sitting outside of a dealership that spent $144 that I wasn't planning on spending today. I'm curious to see what you guys think, though. I mean, what's your experience been with gas cars, servicing, the cost, and for anyone that has an EV at home as well, what's the difference in pricing? Do you notice a difference? Is it worth it to go EV now? I'm curious.